Today's event was called The Magic of Mindfulness in Nature, and it was really about teaching everyone present, kids and adults included, how to tune in so that they know the difference between fear and respect. So the ocean is a beautiful entity, for example, and we can fear it and not enjoy it at all, or we can respect it. And a lot of times, if we're tuning into our bodies by slowing everything down, we have a better idea if there's real danger or if it's just a fear based on thoughts that are not true. So my name is Therese Berlinski, and the business I own is called Presence to Pupils. I have been in business for 11 years, and I started my work because I heard a message to teach mindfulness to kids. And it wasn't a thing I thought. And as we go through the rest of the day today, you're going to understand a little bit better what I mean by that. So over the years, I have taught very young people. I've taught women who are pregnant, because some of what I do helps to regulate stress. I work with businesses. I work with Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. I've taught kids from preschool all the way to 12th grade. Not just mindfulness and meditation in terms of guiding it, but how to do it. And so part of my business model is that for every event I do for adults that's like a corporate training or like the one I'm doing in October, I give back a free kids event to the community. I love Howell Nature Center. They supported me, and I love supporting them. I want you to know that this is as much for the adults as it is for the kids. And then we're going to go meet a special friend called Zeus, the bobcat. And we're going to talk a little bit after we meet Zeus in a group, and then we're going to end up going on a hike where we're going to play a mindful game in the woods. Zeus is mostly nocturnal. Raise your hand if you can tell me what nocturnal means.
It means that when it's daytime, they're asleep, and when it's nighttime, they're awake.
They're awake and active. Absolutely. Thank you for that. You are right.
And they can see at dark, too.
Yes, they can see better at dark time. You're absolutely right. People tend to be more afraid of things that are mysterious or unknown. What else is unknown? Do we know what's going to happen later today? Usually not, right? What about next week? Right? And so that the future can be scary sometimes, right? People are not that afraid to have a different opinion. And part of what we're going to learn today is that your thoughts are not always true. Have you ever been somewhere and someone disagrees with you? Raise your hand if you've ever had someone disagree with you. And then how did you feel when they had a different opinion? Who can share? Oh, I like that. Thumbs down. You feel not good, right? In a little bit, we're going to talk more about that and about why your thoughts are not necessarily true. And it's going to help you open your mind and feel less bad when people don't agree with you. So respect. So how can we stay safe without being afraid is usually respect. So pretty soon we're going to go meet Zeus. Who can tell me what respect means?
It means to be nice to other people.
Yes, to be nice to other people or animals. Has anyone ever seen a mama animal like a bear or a raccoon or something with babies? Right? And what happens if you walk up to that animal with its babies? Who can tell me what happens? Yeah.
They might get mad.
They might get mad. So that's the same thing. Remember we said don't poke the animal, don't bully it. When an animal has its babies with it, it's more protective. So that's how we show respect, by keeping our distance. So basically, a lot of times in life, if things are unfamiliar, like a nocturnal animal, like a bobcat, we tend to be afraid of them. And as we know, our entire future is unfamiliar. And so in today's society especially, people are suffering from anxiety and depression. There's a lot of people with strong opinions out there, and people are getting all wrapped up in that. And so instead of being a victim of that, I was trying to empower the people present today to be able to create the internal state that they want through practicing some simple meditation tricks and then taking that out as a mindfulness practice. And we did that by explaining the neuroscience of the brain and the vagus nerve and different things like that.
He was found wandering the streets of Dearborn. Now, if anybody's been to Dearborn, you know it's a very suburban area, very city, not a very good bobcat habitat at all. Now, he can still hunt. He is a very, very good hunter. We have taught him so many times he will catch chipmunks, squirrels, or snakes that get into his habitat. So he still has those natural instincts. He just couldn't hunt that well out in the wild.
So, but the more we learn about wild animals, like we can here at Howell Nature Center, which is so wonderful about you guys, and thank you for what you do, is how to respect animals.
Also, just like our cats at home, he has those really big, thick fur paws that help him walk very quietly through the woods.
Thank you, Lindsay.
If everybody wants to continue walking up the hill, I'm going to go grab my basket and I will meet you up there.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to tell you guys a brief story that's going to prove to you that your thoughts are not always true. And then I'm going to do a demonstration. So part of what I'm teaching you and part of what's the magic of all of this is that if you can control what's going on inside your body, you actually have a choice. You don't have to be sad or angry or frustrated. You can use these skills and you can say, you know what, I want to have a different feeling. So you can you imagine, and this is gonna play in after I do this demonstration to the next one. All right, so here's what I want to show you guys. This is called the singing bowl. And so what I want you to do is simply raise your hand. I'm going to play it, and then raise your hand when it stops. Can you still hear it? So that's an example of we thought it was done, but we can't always know everything. When we got closer, we found out it wasn't done, so our thoughts weren't true. How do we know if we should be worried or afraid of anything? I'm just asking a question without asking you to answer it yet. And so one of the things that you can do is to get quiet, to get still, to listen, and to be curious. And so we're going to practice doing that. Some people call that meditation or mindfulness. We start by being still in the body, because when you're still in the body, your thoughts and your feelings get still. It's sort of like, has anyone ever thrown a rock into the water? Raise your hand if you've ever thrown a rock into the water. Okay, and then what happens? Yeah, makes like ripples, right? And so, yeah.
Then a jet of water just washes up.
Then a jet of water, yeah. And so that can happen. Shay, do you have something to add?
Then there's waves.
Waves. So imagine inside of us, we're mostly water. And so when we have thoughts or feelings, those are like that rock that you put into the water, right? And so, but what happens if we just give it time? Does the water then become still and you can see through it again? Okay? It's the same thing with us. So now just tuning into your breath, staying as still as you can. When you're still in the body, it helps your mind to be still, and practicing this. It'll make you better at whatever it is you want to do in life. So you're going to notice your mind wanders. Just bring it back to your breath. Close your eyes. Notice, is your breath deep or shallow? Just notice if one breath is different than the next, or is it the same? And now notice if there's a teeny tiny little spot between breaths where you rest. And there's no breathing. It's like a little resting spot called the still quiet spot. Still quiet space. So see if you can notice if an itch arises. Just notice the itch without scratching it. Just for about 20 more seconds, see if you can bring complete stillness to your body. And if your mind wanders, just bringing it back to the feeling of your breath moving. And when you hear the sound of the singing bowl, just bringing your attention back to me, opening your eyes. Okay, what did anybody notice during that? Yeah, Shay.
That my body was not really moving.
You can then take it into the rest of your life. And then you are more in tune with yourself. What's your name again?
Isaiah.
Isaiah. You're more in tune with yourself, just like Isaiah just said. And then you're more in tune with everything else around you. So that's the magic of what I'm teaching you guys, is that there is so much that we have access to, like superpowers. And I'm also working on a new business called Kids Gone Quantum, where young adults are teaching people like you. Because this stuff is so amazing, and more people are starting to realize that. There's a machine called a functional MRI. If none of you meditate normally or do what we just did, if you don't do that, and then after 8 weeks of doing it, I put you into that machine and measured your brain before and after, it would show the part of your brain that makes good decisions, that's creative, all the good stuff gets bigger. And all the stuff that causes problems in our life, it gets smaller. The message that I want everyone to leave with is more of a feeling than a thought. It's that feeling of being empowered. It's that feeling of knowing that, like that one young man, or several of them actually raised their hands when I said, has anyone ever disagreed with you and how did you feel? And he went like this. It's like it's actually okay for people to disagree with us. It's how we react. And so by being empowered within ourselves, because we judge ourselves, we're hard on ourselves. So if we can learn to be okay with ourselves through the practices of meditation and mindfulness, through the understanding of neuroscience, then we can be okay with others. And then eventually that leads to a more peaceful world. I do see it happening right now. People are focusing on a lot of negativity, but there's just as many people focusing on creating a positive mindset and a positive heart set as well.